Hello, Mary Meet. So today I want to review a book. And the book I want to review, since I've adjusted my camera here a bit, is Crystals and Sacred Sites by Judy Hall. I wanted this book for quite some time and finally got it. So basically it's all about stones and their relevance to sacred sites and actually, to be quite honest, it's more of a crystal book than with the sacred site things added on, but it's still pretty okay and lots of nice pictures in it. So, as usual, let's start with the contents. We have part 1, understanding. First, we have an introduction. Crystals and Sacred Landscape, which is pretty interesting. Then we have part 1, understanding sacred landscapes, which has chapter 1, how landscapes affect us, using crystals to connect with sacred sites, a landscape set in stone, and how to use this book. All of those are pretty self-explanatory. Then we have part 2, sacred sites and their corresponding crystals, which has chapter 5, the home of the stone people, Inusuk, and the circumpolar region, sister sites, Kandahar, Afghanistan, and Serpentine. Then you have chapter 6, the diamond in the wilderness, Lake Louise, Banff, Alberta, and the Canadian amethyst. Basically, these are some known sacred sites and stones connected to them. And you have chapter 7, the cosmic portal, Mount Salsta, California, Mount Shasta Blue Opal. Chapter 8, Vortices of Awesome Beauty, Sedona, Arizona, and Sedona Stone. The Sedona Desert is a really interesting place. Yeah, that's the one, yes. And the chapter is pretty good. Then we have the Place of Peace, Pipestone National Monument, Minstone and Pipestone. Then we have Standing Together, 9/11 Memorial, New York City. Sister Site, Hiroshima Peace Memorial, Japan, and the Herkimer Diamond. Basically, it's crystals that are connected to these sites. Sometimes directly crystals that are from these sites, but also crystals connected to their energies. We have the Megalite Portal, Newgers, Bone Valley Island, and Snow Quartz. Then we have the Heart Chakra of the World, Glastonbury, England, and Ammonite. We have In the Footstep of the Ancestors, Stonehenge of England, and the Persili Mountains, Wales, and Persili Bluestone. We have chapter 14, Meeting the Mother of God, Medjugorje, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Blue Quartz. Just one moment, just need to itch my cheek, which is a bit difficult when I'm balancing the computer and this big book at the same time. Then we have the Unity of the Universe, God and Humanity, Hajj Batash, Deveris Take, and I'm probably butchering these names, Hajj Baktas, Turkey, and Dispar. And then we have chapter 16, Coming Home to Mother Africa, Georgia Island, Central, and Rutilated Quartz. Chapter 17, Metaphysical Landscapes, the Great Pyramid, Cairo, Egypt, and Aswan Granite. Chapter 18, The Sanctuary of She Who is Powerful, Sekhmet Sanctuary, Luxor, Egypt, and Black Basalt. Chapter 19, Speaking with God, Mount Sinai, Egypt, and Smoky Quartz. Chapter 10, Unity in Diversity, The Hanging Gardens of Haifa, Israel, and Marble. Chapter 21, The First House of God, Grand Mosque, Mecca, Saudi Arabia, and Tekkite. Chapter 22, Luminescent Crystal Mountain, Mount Kailashi, Tibet, and Tibetan Quartz. Chapter 23, Where Spirituality and Nature Meets, the Narmada River, Arkamantek, Madhya Pradesh, India, and Shivanlingam. Chapter 24, The Emergence of Being, Spirit Temple Buddha, Lunasa Country, China, Chinese Red Quartz. Chapter 25, Home of the Sun Goddess, Ice Shrine, Honshu, Peninsula, Japan, Chrysanthemum Stone. Chapter 26, The Holy Stone of Mother Earth, Uluru and Kata Tacha, Northern Territory, Australia, and Akaringa Stone. Chapter 27, The Power of Place, Castle Hill Rocks, South Iceland, New Zealand, and the Moray Greenstone. Chapter 28, The Womb of Recreation, Kurswa Volcano, Big Island, Hawaii, and Lava Stone, and Olivin. Chapter 29, A Mythological Landscape, Machu Picchu, Peru, and Machu Picchu Stone. And Chapter 30, Holding the Balance of the Universe, Chichen Itza, Yucatan Peninsula, and Crystal Skulls. Then you have a big biography, resources about the author, acknowledgements, photography, credits, and index. So yes, I think that the best way to illustrate how this book works is to just show you one of the chapters. So, for example, here we have chapter 6. It starts like this. And it just basically talks about this sacred site and basically some of the lore and what the stone connected to it is, a bit about that stone, what chakra that stone connects to, and so on and so on. As well as some other spiritual practices that you might engage in, and all of these amazing pictures. This is very much a picture book, and it also gives you some alternative crystals to the one that we are talking about. So yeah, there are some amazing pictures in here of these various landscapes. So even if you're not that alternatively interested, but just interested in these sites, do give a fair bit of information. So it definitely focuses. This is my favorite chapter. It definitely focuses mostly on the crystals and how they are connected to that and how that they sort of take up that energy. So what do I think about this book? Well, I think it's a pretty interesting one. It basically go beyond just saying, oh, this stone is from here, so we are going to discuss that. It's more about, well, often these stones are from these areas, but it's more like what stones take up the energies of these sites for when you want to remotely work with the energies of them. And it is an interesting variation. Often these various crystal books discuss basically the same thing, all of them. And it's interesting, if nothing else, to have a book that takes a completely new direction. I think this is a good book to learn a bit about both these sacred sites, but also about these crystals that are connected to them. It's a way to go a little bit in depth on these crystals. Not enormously in depth, because it is a bit basically, we talk about all the possible spiritual connections and all of this is sort of a little bit spread thin, but still a bit more in depth than your regular crystal book will get you. So I do not think this is in any way, shape, or form a must-have book for anybody interested in crystal work, but it's a nice book to have, and it's not very expensive, and it is gorgeous. There's so many gorgeous pictures, so I think it's pretty good. But of course, it all depends on, are the crystals you like to work with on the list here, because the selection is a bit different than most books. Then it goes into depth on some crystals that are not that commonly used and doesn't mention at all some that are. But all in all, I think this book has quite a bit of decent information that can be quite useful for a crystal healer. So yeah, and I so adore these pictures, and yeah, I'm glad I got the book. And it's also interesting to reading about these. This is a pretty picture. Reading about these sacred sites, their energies, and how those energies can be addressed with stones. Because here's the thing, it's quite possible to work with, for example, the energies of Stonehenge remotely by connecting to those energies. It won't, of course, not be as powerful than if you are there, but it's still possible to work with those energies because those energies are universal. Energy are not just in one place. You can definitely connect with them. And this book can help you to learn how to do that. So yeah, I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's definitely not a must-have. It's one of those, as one occult writer said it, it's a luxury that you might want that can be useful, but it's definitely not a must-have. But it's an interesting book with some good information. And while it doesn't go extremely in depth on these places and the crystals, they do provide a fair bit of knowledge. So yeah, that is my review of, show it one more time, Crystals and Sacred Sites by Judy Hall. I hope you have enjoyed this review. Have a great day.